everyone, and welcome back to the Alexa Show. Tonight is the special segment of Mom Moments. In these segments, I'll be interviewing various moms with different backgrounds, careers, and ideas of how it is to raise children while having a career. Tonight on the show, I have Lindsay Crotty Walsh. She's a real estate advisor, restaurant owner, and just a wonderful mom. Lindsay, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Oh, Alexa, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I love doing these segments because I find it's so important to have all different types of moms on, speaking about what it's like to be a mom, but also what is it like having a career? And your background is so impressive. Tell me, how did you get started with everything that you do?
Oh, well, thank you. So my background is first and foremost in people. So I started working in professional development for an investment bank, and I really was focused on helping employees learn, grow, succeed in their careers. I did a lot of mentoring and coaching and was really focused on helping our employees do the very best that they could. And I worked in that field, really helping employees or staff members for about 10 years. It was very rewarding and I loved it. And when my oldest daughter was born, I really leaned into flexibility, which I feel like is so core and central to being a successful mother. And I decided to take a career pause. And I stayed home for a couple of years with my girls. And then in 2020, they were both going back to school full time. They were at a private school that was going back. It was the height of COVID. And my father came to me and he said, I'd love to partner with you and I'd love to open a restaurant and start a business. He had been in the bar restaurant business his entire life. He had a couple of establishments in New York City.
Mhm.
And because of the COVID shutdown, his businesses couldn't operate. And he said, I'd love to open up a fast casual restaurant with you. And, my girls were back in school. I felt like I had an opportunity and the bandwidth to like jump back into a career, a brand new to me career. But I kind of leaned into that entrepreneurial spirit, and Crotty's Cheesesteaks was opened at the end of 2020 in New Rochelle. And I had a fantastic experience owning my own business,
Mhm.
focusing on my commitment to excellence. I feel like I wore many hats in the business. I was HR, I was IT. I feel like I was the person that would get the call at 11 o'clock at night that the computer system went down, and I'd have to fix things up there. Really leaned into and grew in sales and marketing. So that was something, newer to me, but we worked really hard. And in 2021, we won Best of Westchester for our restaurant. So it was really a phenomenal, exciting, busy time in my life, and I loved it. And in 2024, we were approached by somebody who wanted to buy the business,
Wow.
and so we ended up selling it. My father retired, and it gave me an opportunity to really think about what did I want to do next?
Mhm.
What did I love? What was important to me? I was very passionate about building something new professionally, but I also wanted to have that, flexibility that I could be around for my children. And, I thought about my focus on my people, having an entrepreneurial spirit, and what did I love? And I loved homes. I was born and raised in Westchester County. I live now in Westchester County,
Mhm.
and I figured that that would be a natural path to go into, kind of incorporating all of these skills that I had learned in various businesses that I had been in, and really marrying them together with passions of mine, real estate, homes, and people. And so that is kind of a snapshot of
Yeah.
the few careers that I've had in my life.
Yes. And the funny story is when I was sending your information to my producer, Keith, and he received your bio, the first thing he said, I know that restaurant. We
Oh,
order
that's so
from there
funny.
all the time. He was so excited. So I would own a restaurant on its own is yes, it's incredible. But you're really, really known throughout Westchester for your restaurant. And I think that speaks a lot about who you are as a person, who you are as a businesswoman and a family that really helps, have you step out than most other places and be able to put that extra touch on those moments. Because I think with people, with families, with having a business, it's having that X factor, that wow factor that really has you stand out to be able to be noticed.
Absolutely. And I think such a big part of that was really leaning into the community.
Yes.
We had great relationships with Iona University, which was right across the street. We had a lot of fun foodie influencers come in and try out our food. We ran different competitions. It was just like very much open door. My father and I were there, kind of like small mom and pop shop. We got to know our customers and really love our customers. And, I think it's that personal touch that really sets people apart.
Yes. And I think what you were saying with the business and with the employees and kind of playing all the different hats, wearing all the different hats, it says a lot also about being a mom. We are so many different hats at so many different times, transitioning into them in about a moment like this. The doorbell rings, the door opens. We never know what the next step is going to be or the next event there is to tackle. What has that been like for you?
Absolutely. I mean, I feel in being a professional working mom, I have gained so many important skills that I learn in and use in both business and motherhood. Certainly, patience is one of them. Being very organized, and problem solving. And so, being able to lean into both professional life and motherhood, I've developed these skills and I've been able to apply them in both worlds, and they've really been so helpful to me.
Yes. What advice or tips would you give any moms that are watching who have young children who are thinking of either going back to their career or starting something new? And sometimes they don't know where to start or how do I find the time and the help?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I would say that you don't have to choose one. You can do both. You can be a working professional woman and and be a mother. I think you need to focus on being very intentional and knowing what's most important in each realm and what you need to be there for. I think flexibility, again, is a big factor. We're all in different seasons of life, in motherhood, in our careers, and it's okay to take a pause or be at a place where you feel like you can really rev things up. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. You can be flexible. And lastly, I mean, certainly support is so important. Seek out mentors, seek out women who maybe have more experience than you, but have been in certain similar situations. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Look to others and see what they've done, what's been successful for them, and lean on those friends,
Yeah.
lean on family, develop that village. I am so grateful to my family. I know, not everyone is in the same situation where they have them locally, but both of my parents are local. So are my in-laws. And my husband has been a huge help too. And so, don't be afraid to ask for help and lean into the people that are around you and that can help because I think you'll find that people really do. They want to see you succeed. They want to be there to help you in
Yes.
motherhood.
Yes. And I really also encourage and support what you said is we don't have to pick one thing. Because I
Hmm.
think for so many years, we were told that you choose one job, you choose one calling, and that's what you choose and you stay with it. And so many times people are stuck in it. They're not happy. They've outgrown it. And
Yeah.
but we all go to different stages in our life, just like our children do. Some things feed that passion at one moment in our life. And then at another stage, we're like, wow, I want to do something in this direction. And a lot of times, yes, it can be a little scary. It can be like, well, I don't know what to do. So it's finding those mentors, but also taking that risk. Because I think it's important to have that risk. Yes, it can be a little nerve wracking. Sometimes we don't have that roadmap, but it's making that roadmap. But also that is your niche. That's what's different. We're all different. We all have our uniqueness. And I think that's what really helps us be who we are and also show who we are, and also for our children and for our families.
Absolutely. One thing that I always like to highlight is, give yourself grace.
Yes.
Life can be challenging, and a mantra that I aim to live by in all realms is really progress over perfection. Just get out there, do it. Some days it'll be you feel like you've got it all going. Other days you feel like you've just dropped all the balls on the floor, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just start and keep going.
Yes. And I think it's, being able to show people we're not perfect.
Yeah.
And none of us are. And I think life isn't always happening like this. Things aren't always going to be just right. And some days just to show up is so important for so many people, that we don't always have to be at a certain point to show up. We're good enough at where we are to show up. And I think, also during the pandemic, some people really were able to kind of dig deep and find out what their passion is, or try different. And I think that's what's important. I remember taping this show during the pandemic with a newborn and trying to say, okay, I hope the baby doesn't cry, or I hope my dog doesn't bark, or the doorbell doesn't ring. And then I realized we're all just human. I think that just shows to everyone, just show up a lot of times and do your best.
Absolutely. I think that is a great mantra to live by, to lean into. We're all humans. We're juggling different things, and we're doing the best that we can. But I think, if you're trying, if you're learning, if you're growing, whether that be in motherhood or in your career, you're succeeding.
Yes. Yes. How is it for your children, for having the careers, the restaurant, the real estate advisor? What's it been like for them?
I think they really do love it. I deal with mom guilt at times, as I'm sure that all mothers do.
Yes.
But, I think that showing them hard work and that I'm passionate about something it's a gift. And I think they have a lot of pride in their mom when, they hear that someone had gone to Crotty's cheesesteaks and had, a delicious sandwich, or you saw some foodies that came into my restaurant and gave us a great review. I think, it means a lot to them watching their mother work and do something that she loves and be successful at it. And I hope that it'll inspire them to grow up and do the same.
Yes. How do you find the time for everything? What is time management like for you?
Oh, that is a great question. And I think I've learned to set boundaries. That's important. Learn to say no sometimes.
Yes.
And figuring out what is the most important thing in each realm, in motherhood, in my professional career, and realize, what do I need to be there for, what's important, and then some things that I could outsource to others. And it's, leaning into that clarity of what is most important and making time for that.
Yes. Because I find, so many times there's only so many hours in a day.
Absolutely.
And time passes by during the day. And then sometimes you find yourself like, oh, wait a second, I'm almost at the end of the day and I have this, and this to do. And then there's homework or dinner or different, or, a shoe drops somewhere and there's something to do. So I think it's also, giving that grace, but also knowing we don't have to get everything done in one day.
You're exactly right. It'll still be there tomorrow. We can work on it then. It's identifying the things that need to be done right now. You get it done. And then the other things can be put on the back burner for a little bit later. It goes back to, that progress over perfection. You're getting there. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be all done, and it never will be. We'll always have balls in the air that we're juggling. It's, giving yourself grace and not feeling that you have to be a perfectionist at all times, letting that go.
Yes. Yeah, and you brought up the topic of mom guilt, which we all go through. And I find all different times of the day, different times of the week. What are some practices? Because I know sometimes I will do some time of reading, praying, going for a walk, working out,
Mhm.
just to kind of redirect my mind and ground me. What works for you?
Absolutely. I am a big fan of working out. I am actually quite into yoga, and I love going to the YMCA in Rye, and I'll book a class and I'll take that 45 minutes for myself, and I really feel like it's a great time to gain clarity, think about what's important, kind of rejuvenate myself a bit, and to take that time away from the computer, from the phone, from the kids, and just focus on myself. And that's been huge. Or even, taking the dog out for a walk, just
Yes.
kind of, break up being in the home or being in the office, being with the kids, just having that carved out time to focus on myself.
Yes. Because I feel it's really important for the children too, that moms also have that individual time because we have so much that we give to our children, to our families, which
Hmm.
is important. And I wouldn't change a thing. But I think we also need to kind of feed ourselves and rejuvenate that so we still have that energy, that passion, and the strength to keep moving forward. And it's important, I think, a lesson to teach our children to be able to say it's okay to take time for self-care. It's okay to find that moment, find those times of things that really you enjoy, but also feed you physically, emotionally, spiritually.
Definitely. And I would also say leaning into a network of friends. I
Yes.
feel so blessed. I have so many fantastic friends, many of which are mothers. And, to be able to pick up the phone or go out for a walk with a friend and vent and listen to them and get advice from them on what's worked, or, just kind of get lost in conversation about, the newest show on HBO that you watch, and really fill your cup back up personally so that you can go ahead and be a fantastic mom, a fantastic real estate agent, a
Yeah.
fantastic employee, whatever it may be. You give yourself that time to lean into yourself and find some like real joy in life.
Yes. And I think also finding that laughter because
Yeah.
so many times there are some really funny things that happen as a mom that
Yes.
we just have to smile and be like, okay, this happens. This is something
Yes.
you kind of just switch gears to the next thing. And it's nice to have that community really just to laugh about the spit up food, the different things that happen, not making it to the bathroom on time if you have younger
Yes.
children. And you're just like, okay, it is what it is. And just finding someone and finding that community that can laugh with you and support you and say, you're going to get through this. We're going to move to the next step.
Definitely. And to know you're not alone,
Yes.
that some of these wild and crazy things happen in everybody's house, right? I mean,
Yes.
motherhood can be challenging. And so to be able to vent to friends and realize that, it's not just hard for you. You're not alone. It really is one of the most challenging but most rewarding jobs.
Yes, absolutely. So, professionally and also personally, what are some goals coming up on the horizon, short term, long term for you?
Oh goodness. When I think about professionally and where I see myself in 5 years, is really having a bustling real estate career built on referrals and people, clients that have worked with me and have had a great experience, and tell a friend, tell a family member, tell a coworker that they had a great experience and would, recommend me to help that friend in their life. I think that's kind of like the ultimate gift is when somebody says, like, I've loved working with you, thank you, I'd love to send your name off to somebody else. And personally, when I think of 5 years from now, gosh, I feel like I'll have like teenagers in the house, which is hard to believe. But that both of my girls feel like I'm carving out equal time for them, that I'm around to deal with any issues that come up, to be at their sporting events, to cheer them on, and also, again, for them to see me in a professional capacity, doing something that I'm passionate about to inspire them to do the same. Because 5, 10 years from now, they'll be thinking about college
Yeah.
and career and, what their adult life will be like. And I hope that I can be an example to them.
Yes, absolutely. So, what does a day look like for you? What's an average day personally and professionally?
I feel like in the world of real estate, it's always a little bit different. So much of what I do is driven by my clients and their schedule. If they want to go out and see a house, I make sure that I'm available for them to go see the house. But I'd say, every morning I wake up, I take care of the kids, I make lunches, I get breakfast ready, get them out the door to school. I tidy up the house, look after the dog. And then again, calls from clients. They, want to go see a house. We'll pop out and do that. I feel like I've always, got my phone, checking email. And then, my girls are usually home by 2:30, 3 o'clock. If I don't have any client appointments, I'm usually driving them around to activities. They love lacrosse, they love
Mhm.
theater, and cooking dinner, doing all the things, the homework. And, if I do have client appointments, I feel very lucky. My husband is around quite a bit. He often works from home. Or I have, this great network of friends that I can lean on, parents I can lean on if I need to run out. I feel like I, have that village that can step in and help with the kids so that I can focus on my clients.
Amazing. How can my viewers follow you, reach out to you for real estate, for work? Where can they find you?
You can certainly Google me, Lindsay Crotty Walsh. You can also reach me on my cell phone, 305-915-3123. I work at Sotheby's International Realty in Rye, New York. So you can come on in, say hello, Google me, and, very happy to help with any real estate questions that you have, any questions about the different neighborhoods in the county, the best dog parks, the best restaurants, the best clubs. I mean, I live here. I'm passionate about being here, and so very happy to just kind of casually talk through any questions you have about the area and homes in the area.
Great. Thank you so much. And I just wanted to thank you so much for being on the show tonight and just sharing all of your insight, your work, and just about your family and your life. Thank you.
Oh, you are so welcome, Alexa. Thank you so much for having me on. This has been a pleasure.
Thank you. And everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Everyone, have a good night and God bless.